Can I ask you a question?
You sure? You want to ask whatever you want.
Okay. How do you feel about being
Come on over here, please. Your job is supervisor, district ranger for the
How do I
entire
feel about my job? Is that the question?
Oh, my job.
Okay.
They want to hear from you. So
Good.
please come on
We're
over and
proud to have
introduce
you.
yourself.
Do
Please
you
come
feel
on over.
like why you're doing this is because of President Trump's executive order? No?
This project has predated this administration.
Well, I want to give a
predates the
good,
last
hearty
administration.
welcome this morning to a beautiful day.
Please
here
read
in
our
the
documents
state of
around
Indiana.
online.
Okay.
Jump on up on to talk
All the
about
history and the
forest.
Jump on up there for
all the
everybody.
information is all on our website.
You gotta be on this
Emblematic
side. There you go.
symbol of our land.
Mr. Stewart
The
has
Forest
to say
Service
there.
is called the Buffalo Springs Project area, right where the Buffalo Trace is. You know, this is our state flag. It's a national emblem, and it represents, you know, the history and what we've done in the past, and hoping that we can learn from the past and that we not follow the fate of the bison. So we are looking out for the flora, the fauna, the fungal, and the people and the culture. I am Stephen Stewart from Protect Our Woods in Heartwood. I'm a regular visitor to the Hoosier National Forest. It is dear to my heart. My family has been in the area of the Hoosier, where the Hoosier National Forest is now, in Orange County, Indiana, south of Paoli, for over 160 years. And it's deep in my bones, it's deep in my soul, and deep in my DNA. So we appreciate all of you coming today. If we could, we'd like to thank whatever higher power you believe in. We have a moment of silence, please, for the forest. So again, thank you all. I am going to introduce really quickly two official staff people that are managers, the stewards of our Hoosier National Forest from the United States Forest Service, the regional supervisor for this area. What is your title, Mike?
Forest Supervisor.
Forest Supervisor for Michael Chavez of the Hoosier National Forest, and Chris Thornton, the Head Ranger for the Hoosier National Forest. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. We truly appreciate it. And I know that we've been talking for 5 years or more about this specific project in Orange County, Indiana, but hopefully that we can have more cooperation, more continued talks, and more just collaboration to get a brighter future in these trying times, both in our nation and across the world, environmental concerns. I'd like to introduce you to Andy Mahler, who is a longtime also resident right near the Hoosier National Forest. In fact, he is surrounded by the Hoosier National Forest. So, Andy, welcome to Protect Our Woods. Well, first of all, I want to again thank, maybe you do need to be up here. I want to thank Mike and Chris for welcoming us today. We really appreciate that. It signals, I think, something of a change. Chris has been very gracious in being present for us from time to time. But Mike, we've been working on this Buffalo Springs project for 4 years now, and this is the second time I've seen Mike in 4 years. Second time in 4 years.
I've never turned down a meeting.
Oh, you have. We invite you to every one of our meetings, and you've never come once. You have never once come to our public meetings, not once, and we've had at least 3 or 4.
The ones in Orange County.
In Orange County.
Yes.
Yeah, but anyway, that's the past. We are here to establish a new relationship of trust, friendship, and cooperation with the Forest Service. That is our intention going forward. But part of that is in recognizing that we can no longer depend on a forest plan that was based on a planning rule from 1982 and the forest plan written in 2006, when the law clearly states that every national forest has to have a new plan at least every 15 years. But anyway, once again, that's the past. We're looking forward to moving forward with you. But one other thing I want to acknowledge today, I have known 8 supervisors of the Hoosier National Forest. 8 supervisors. I don't know what the average tenure of a supervisor is on the National Forest, but that tells you how old I am. Yeah. Now, one of those people was a guy named A. Claude Ferguson, who was one of the most genuine, brilliant, kind-hearted, compassionate, intelligent people you would ever meet. So we have no antagonism to the Forest Service. Some of the dearest people we know, including one of my closest friends right now, work for the Forest Service. So that is not the issue. But I mentioned this because 2 days ago we learned that the person who was the supervisor of the Hoosier National Forest when I first got involved in 1985, a gentleman named Harold Godlewski, passed away 2 days ago in Wisconsin. Now Harold was the supervisor when they established the 1985 forest plan that called for virtually the entire forest to be clear-cut over either an 80 or 120-year rotation, the entire forest to be open to oil and gas leasing, up to 5 miles of road for every square mile of national forest, and so forth. And he was the one that got us started with Protect Our Woods by proposing 112 miles of motorcycle trails through Braun and Orange counties. And that's when Protect Our Woods was formed. Anyway, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking, but I would like a moment of silence just to honor Harold and Claude Ferguson and Frank Voites and all the others who have been responsible for the management of our public lands over the past 40 years. So just a moment of silence for Harold. Thank you. I want to acknowledge a friend over here who's come up from Virginia, Bob Herring, who's part of the reason I wound up in Orange County. If somebody could hold this microphone just in my general direction, I'm going to sing This Land Is Your Land. If anybody would like to join me in singing that song, I would appreciate it. I'm not sure if we...
Came from Virginia? Yes, sir. Is that correct? So just keep in mind, it's the Hoosier National Forest, but it's not just about the folks in Indiana. It's not just about the Hoosiers. It's not about the locals. It's everyone in the United States is forest. So we welcome everybody that came from far away.
And I want you to be sure to notice my shirt here.
Yeah. Yay for possums!
I speak for the possums.
We rescued some babies the other day from the Hoosier National Forest.
My wife has been rehabilitating possums and releasing them into the Hoosier National Forest and specifically into the Buffalo Springs area of the Hoosier National Forest for the last 40 years. And now she's found a great trainee. Katie Percifield here is going to be taking over possum care and other wildlife rehabilitation chores at the Lazy Black Bear. So, round of applause for Katie.
Yay.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that river highway, I saw above me, that endless skyway. I saw before me a bright new future. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking, a sign tried to stop me. Sign said no trespassing, said no trespassing. But on the other side, it said, welcome to your Hoosier National Forest. This sign was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was Lake Patoka to Monroe Reservoir. This land was made for you and me. Hoosier National Forest belongs to you and me.
And the animals and the insects and the trees and the microbiotics and the soil fungi.
I should say something.
I'd like to introduce you to a wonderful person who I have been known for several years now, who has been working in the interest of our Indiana forest for going on probably 40, 50 years now. And he has since retired just recently. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to a wonderful gentleman, a friend of mine, a friend of the forest, Jeff Stant, previous director of Indiana Forest.
How do I?
I would like to read you a letter from the governor of our state. He recently wrote a letter asking that the Buffalo Springs restoration project be withdrawn and a dialogue be started with the residents of around the forest and the state over the future of the Hoosier National Forest and in the Hoosier National Forest Management Plan. Today he's written a letter this morning about the Houston South restoration project, which, as you know, is in the watershed of Lake Monroe. He probably pretty early in the morning, it looks like a 5 a.m., so that he got the chief wrong. He says, "Dear Chief Moore," of course we have a new acting chief now, but I think he means the chief. He says, "Dear Chief Moore, the Trump administration has shown a commitment to reevaluating past decisions to ensure the best outcomes for the American people."
Okay, no, do it now.
Take support.
Yeah.
Well, I can.
Try it now.
All right. Can you hear me?
No.
All right. Well, I'm not known for being a meek speaker, so I will just pick up the volume. In this spirit, I write to respectfully request that the United States Forest Service immediately halt and withdraw the Houston South Vegetation Management and Restoration Project in the Hoosier National Forest. This project, involving logging and prescribed burning across approximately 4,000 acres in Monroe County, threatens an irreplaceable recreational and ecological treasure in the heart of the Hoosier National Forest. The Hoosier National Forest is the premier wilderness destination in the lower Midwest, attracting visitors for horseback riding, backpacking, and camping. Its rugged terrain, oak hickory forests, and pristine trails make it a unique haven for Hoosiers and regional recreationists. The proposed activities risk destroying this cherished landscape, diminishing its unparalleled recreational and ecological value. Local governments and countless residents have vocally opposed the project, passing unanimous resolutions and proposing alternatives such as non-invasive restoration and preservation-focused management that the U.S. Forest Service under the Biden administration consistently ignored. Equally critical is the project's threat to Lake Monroe, the sole source drinking water for over 140,000 Hoosiers. Logging and burning on steep slopes within the lake's watershed risks erosion and sediment runoff, jeopardizing water quality. I urge the U.S. Forest Service to halt and withdraw the project, conduct a full environmental impact study to rigorously evaluate its impacts on water quality, and prioritize the completion of the long overdue Hoosier National Forest Management Plan to guide sustainable stewardship. Yes. Thank you for your prompt attention to this urgent matter. The halt and withdrawal of the Hoosier National Forest project is critical to preserving, of the Houston South project is critical to preserving the recreational, ecological, and cultural heritage of the Hoosier National Forest for future generations. Sincerely, Mike Braun, Governor. Is this thing on?
No, it's a low battery. It's kind of low battery.
Well,
Kind of
right now the project is before the Judge Pratt's Federal District Court of Southern Indiana. We're awaiting a decision from her on all the briefs that the plaintiffs, and that's Monroe County, Friends of Lake Monroe, Hoosier Environmental Council, and Indiana Forest Alliance have written, and the briefs of the Forest Service written by the Justice Department's attorneys, and we're hopeful that decision will go our way, and that's calling for the Forest Service to go back and do a complete environmental impact statement on the project. But we'll have to see. The Seventh Circuit has not been that sympathetic to most NEPA lawsuits, from our perspective. So, that's why I-69 exists today, because of their reading of NEPA, as not requiring that vigorous of a review. But this is a different judge. We'll see what happens here. Let's just remember, the Hoosier National Forest is everyone's forest. The Forest Service are the folks that we employ to take care of that forest for the benefit of all of us. We're asking that there be a genuine dialogue on the future of the forest, and that we look at this forest through the lens of today and the future, that it serves as the most unique area from a natural habitat standpoint in the state of Indiana. There's no public land assemblage anywhere close to as large as the Hoosier. It's one of the smallest national forests in the country, but when it comes to this state, it's by far the largest public land unit. So that should say something about a state of nearly 7 million people, that it's very public land poor. We have to take care of the public lands we have to provide for public interest that private woodlands don't provide or can't provide. And that's the protection of our ecological heritage, the habitat for our native forest wildlife that has nowhere else to go, where you have contiguous tracts of forest of the size they are at Houston South, and for the protection of water supplies that are critical. The two largest public drinking water supplies, surface drinking water supplies in southern Indiana, that are crucial to the future of the economy of the south central part of the state. Patoka and Monroe Reservoir are at stake here, and we still don't have a water quality sampling plan from the Forest Service that involves the first bit of water quality sampling from water running off any of these proposed burn sites in either project. And now the House and South one is proceeding forward with it before the court decision, and it burned nearly 3 square miles in the center of the project, and haven't been doing any sampling of water quality from the streams draining that site. And so that's forcing us to do it, but that shouldn't be that way. The Forest Service, they're the ones who should be taking care of the forest, monitoring it closely to assure the public that indeed there is going to be no problem from the project activities on Monroe Reservoir and the safety and viability of the drinking water it provides. So I just urge you to engage the Forest Service as the way you would want them to engage you, with respect, profound respect, but recognize we are coming from two very different sets of viewpoints right now, and we need to close that gap and try to do so to manage the Hoosier National Forest for the people, for the values that are public values that it provides that are not provided by any other forests in the state, and certainly can't be provided by the private woodlands that occupy 85% of all the woodlands in Indiana. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you very much. I have another lady, Mrs. Barbara Lince, who would like to come up. She's a Hoosier resident and a lifetime forest protector. Miss Lince, pleasure to have you. Welcome.
Thank you. I don't think I can. Hello?
Not working.
I have a loud mouth. I've been told that, so I'm just going to sit here because I have a lot of medical ailments. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We are here for one reason. We're trying to protect the forest, and I believe those folks want to protect it too. And that's why I'm here. Because from my perspective, what is happening here, I know that the Biden administration started this and it's been this kind of mess.
Louder, louder.
I know that the Biden administration has started this and they've got plans from what? The 80s? The 80s. Okay, that's not working now. It's not. And we need a change. But I understand that side of the equation too, and that's what I am a tree hugger, no doubt about it. I think that the forest was created by God and it's beautiful and we should protect it. But we have to consider what the other side is thinking. My understanding of this entire equation, recently President Trump ordered an executive order to log in all national forests. Now why did he do that? He did that because he's in a trade war with Canada, who also logs. I'm here to say logging is a 19th century habit. We are no longer pioneers that need to cut down our trees to make a house. In fact, in the 21st century, what's happening? We have floods and hurricanes and all kinds of problems. Why would I want to build a house out of wood anymore? Well, you might say, well, what alternatives do you have, Miss Lance? I do have an alternative. In this state, right now, in Richmond, Indiana, they are producing a wood alternative made out of trash, made out of plastic, very cheap to make, currently can withstand incredible temperatures. Has been proven to, wood, what is it? It's fire, pests, and water. Water gets logged and rots, right? So again, I want to say this to Governor Braun and President Trump. This is an outdated business model, and it's not working for all Americans. We don't want this. Well, what do we want? In Richmond, Indiana, they are making 2x4s, 4x8s, floor plank. It is all fireproof, insect-proof, and waterproof, and it's cheaper. So it will make you, President Trump, more money, and I'm pretty sure that you like that. And I don't care if you make more money. To me, what I want out of this is that you protect my forest because it is priceless. You cannot put a price tag on what's going on. Am I loud enough?
Yeah. Great.
What I'm asking the president to do today, here and now, is to stop the logging and start investing whatever resources they bring to the table to log the Hoosier National Forest and support this small business. It's not exactly a small business. It's a fairly large business, and it's out of Boca Raton, but the first plant is here in Indiana. We are making an alternative wood product that is far better than these trees. Let the trees be, and is this not what you want? Do you not want to protect the forest and still make money? Because that's what will happen if we do this. If we use this particular product, it could be a game changer. Not only for this state, but for every state across the United States. And all of national forests do not have to be logged. It's a 19th century practice. It is a bad business model. I would just as soon those lovely gentlemen over there be out in my forest, making sure everything is just the way God created it.
Yeah! Yeah!
Okay. I'm not against anybody here.
Yeah.
I'm not even against President Trump. I'm asking President Trump here today. I don't know who is here from the press, but this is the message that I want to send to him. Stop all the logging right now. start investing in this product immediately, and then you don't have to worry about the logging going on in Canada. You don't have to worry about the tariffs. You don't have to worry that we don't have enough building supplies. We have better building supplies. We have 21st century building supplies. And we have an opportunity. We all need to stick together. I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm not an independent, but I am an American, and I love this country. It's a great country, and it needs to have a better forest management program. And I hope that you two will be part of that forest management program that allows us to use another product that is better, makes us more.
Oh, hey, I get my.
You got a voice for radio.
Thank you, because I will probably go hoarse here in a few minutes. But I do want to share that with all you. I'm asking whatever, journalists or news reporters are here, take this message to Governor Braun. He's already stated that he's concerned about it. You have somebody in Richmond already trying to fix this problem. Go with it. Go with it. Now, I know that we've heard a lot about ecotourism. I'm not so sure about that. Part of me goes, oh God, a whole bunch of people's going to come run over our land. I don't know. But if it's an entrepreneurial thing and it supports the forest, why not? But it's not going to solve the problem. The problem is what I just pointed out to you. The logging is coming as a response to the whole tariff thing and all the wood that they're getting. I would like to see President Trump, wherever you are right now, you realize that if you did something like this, they would be begging you for our product because we are not taking your wood anymore. Stop cutting the trees in Canada. Stop cutting the trees, period. It's not necessary. If there's some sort of, processes to make the forest better, I'm not against that. But I am against taking the trees for building supplies. It's wrong. It's a bad business model. And President Trump, I'm asking you, change course. I'm hearing from the letter that Jeff just read that the governor is acknowledging that this is not the best business practice. It's not. It will make Hoosiers better off. It will make America better off. And as America, all I can say is our national forests are priceless.
Yeah.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you so much.
Well said.
And that comes up to the point. We are American citizens here, and each of us, both here, out in the ethereal, electronic listening, and also at home. We all have a say, and we have an opinion, and that voice should be heard. I'm sure that the Forest Service, they went through the legal NEPA process for getting your comments, but they want to hear from you. So email them, call them, and tell them how you feel about the forest. And now I think that we may need maybe a song. Thank you.
All right, we're going to sing We Shall Not Be Moved together as a reminder that we are a part of nature and we are like trees planted by the water as we fight for the trees planted by the water as they fight for us. The verses, in addition to the We Shall Not Be Moved, and please play if you have instruments, join in, is Protect Our Woods, We Shall Not Be Moved, Expand Wilderness, We Shall Not Be Moved, and Save Our Waters. Okay? We do it together? All right. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like the tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Let's do that one again. We shall not be moved. There we go. We shall not be moved, just like the tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be. Protect our woods. Protect our woods. We shall not be moved. Protect our woods. We shall not be moved, just like the tree that's planted by the water. We shall not expand wilderness. Expand wilderness. It's awkward. We shall not be moved. expand wilderness. We shall not be moved, just like the tree that's planted by the waters. We shall not be moved. Save our waters. Save our waters. We shall not be moved. Save our waters. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the waters. We shall not be. We shall not. We shall not. We shall not be moved. We shall not. We shall not be moved, just like the tree planted by the waters. We shall not be moved.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, we did have a gentleman coming to represent the citizens of Crawford County, Indiana, where part of this project is, Mr. Dan Cressilius. He's on the board of, the Chamber, County Commissioners in Crawford County, and also on the board of directors for Lake Monroe, Patoka Lake, making sure that the water quality is there. He's not able to join us, but he has told us that he is not in favor of the project as it stands, and his citizens there are not as well. And the Orange County Commissioners have expressed the exact same sentiment as well, and want to start up that meaningful dialogue, not just one side listening and the other side teaching, but rather a conversation, which is two-sided. And so now I would like to introduce you to the next speaker we do have that is joining us today, and that would be is Dr. Christy Crandall. Yes, she is on the Friends of Lake Monroe. She's concerned about our water quality, saving our water as well, and she is a doctor.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming up today. This is important, right? This is our drinking water, and I'm here today because I'm representing Friends of Lake Monroe, and we are opposed to the House and South project because when you burn and when you log, you create excess sediment. And there's proposed to be thousands of acres, tens of thousands of acres that are proposed to be burned or logged in the watershed of Lake Monroe for the House and South project. It's actually in the South Fork or Salt Creek and possibly Middle Fork a little bit. But anyway, these actions will dramatically increase sediment downstream from the burn and log areas. Sediment carries nutrients on it as well, soil particles, and when they reach Lake Monroe, then it causes algal blooms, and we've all seen the number of algal blooms increasing in the reservoir, especially during the summer months, during the warm weather, and that is becoming an annual event. Well, if this area is logged, this many acres, this is going to dramatically increase the amount of sediment. And you can go out there after a rainstorm and just see in these areas that have already been burned, see the amount of sediment that's being transported. And every time it rains, we'll see that movement of the sediment toward Lake Monroe. So I worked in the Forest Service actually in Colorado when I was working on my master's degree. And there was a burn upstream from one of our creeks. Of course, that area is different in geology, but there's still high slopes, which is true in the House and South area, very high slope areas. And when the burns happened, we were collecting water samples, sediment samples, and the streams turned black and brown. And we've all seen that happen. So we're here to express our opposition to this action by the Forest Service, and we're hoping that they will reconsider and work with us to come up with better modes of selective harvest and things that can really be an effective way to manage the forest and preserve the environment there and not decrease the water quality in Lake Monroe, the drinking water of Bloomington and much of Monroe County. So thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dave Seastrom, Interim Executive Director for the Indiana Forest Alliance. And we are gathered here today as a coalition of different groups, all with the same purpose in mind, that what we want is reasonable management of our public lands. And, you know, it is a truth that the National Forest Service and us have one big thing in common, and that is that we all love the forest. Where we disagree is on how our public lands should be managed. And so that is why we are here today, and personally and as a representative from the IFA and all of the other groups that are here today, thank each and every one of you for showing up on a Thursday morning in Bedford, Indiana, to let our voices be heard.
Yeah.
This is very important work that we do, and we are actually allies with the National Forest Service. We are not opponents. We disagree over certain issues, but our hearts are all in the same place. And as other speakers have mentioned, you know, our attitude is one of respect and cooperation, and this is how we get things done. So, again, on behalf of the Indiana Forest Alliance and all of the people gathered here today, thank you very much for showing up.
Thank you, Mr. Seastrom, and thank you for Indiana Forest Alliance. And I was involved with the Indiana Forest Alliance for about 4 years now, and they have partnered with the Forest Service with bat surveys, with insect surveys, with small invertebrate surveys, and with water quality testing as well. So they are doing a lot of biological science, citizen science, and anybody here can contact them and get involved with some of these projects going on. So you can actually get hands-on and make a difference and help the Forest Service. Because, you know, there are funding issues, right? Staff has been lost in different national forests during this administration across the nation. Luckily, the Hoosier National Forest didn't lose as many as other forests across the nation, but they have lost some. And if you want to get more information after you left here, I do have a laptop back here. You can leave your name and your email and your phone number with the lady here, Miss Katie, and we'll be glad to get you on our mailing list as well. And of course, the Forest Service is widely publicized, so you'll be able to get their contact information as well. Is there anyone, Andy? I think that it's good.
If anybody else wants to say anything, and then I'll do another.
All right. You'd like to say something? Yes, sir. Just please state your name and.
I'm Bill, and I have a piece of poetry I wrote right here today, all about the Hoosier National Forest. Gathered here to protect our Hoosier National Forest, the warm sun caressing me as we discuss our future. And I wonder, where are we going? Will my grandchildren get to walk up in the trees, enjoying the shady respite from the hot summer sun? Or they only see a world full of pavement, radiating heat waves that shimmer in the air? Then a bald eagle flies over me, reminding me that there is still hope. I stop to enjoy the eagle's majestic flight as he welcomes me to the Hoosier National Forest.
Anyone? So this is, like I said, a conversation for anyone, and anyone has a right to say. Mike, Mr. Chavez, did you want to say a word?
We're just here to listen,
okay,
not to speak. I would just say, if you are interested in the Houston South project or the Buffalo Springs projects, all of our documents are posted on the website. I invite everybody to please read those. But we're not here to make any statements, just here to listen to you folks, and thank you all for your interest.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Mike. And Mr. Thornton, did you have a statement?
No, nothing from me either. Definitely just echoing what Mike said. Appreciate your interest and love of the National Forest.
Excellent, thank you, Chris. And their website does have, as he said, all of the processes. And these projects have been in the planning for years, folks. And there's a whole lot of information. You can go very deep. You can also get a lot of extra information from SaveHoosierNationalForest.com as well. You can see public comments there that other folks have made, during the NEPA process, the National Environment Policy Act. So I want one last call, and then we'll do a song. Is there anyone who'd like to?
As a grandmother, as a person that lives here, that loves here, I say we need to respect the unity of the earth and how the earth can take care of herself in a lot of ways, almost always. And I support what these people do that are active in this, and I support it spiritually. So thank you, Andy.
Who else? Please, I know several of you have things you'd like to say. Don't be shy. This is the perfect opportunity. If there's something you've been wanting to say, you're in the right place, and this is the right people to say it to.
Okay. As a horseback rider, I want to
point it right at your...
Okay, as a horseback rider, we go horseback riding, Hoosier National Forest, wonderful place, wonderful environment to be able to be out in the woods. I'm so thankful that we have that, and I want to thank the National Forest for allowing us to have that, and we need to continue that because that is a way we can de-stress and be out in the woods and really appreciate our environment.
Thank you.
And there is very little ways, other than through grants and through funding that the Forest Service gets monies. That from the public, though, the horseback riders and bike riders are the only ones that actually pay a fee. But they're supporting both with their interest, their visitation, their support, but also their money. They are supporting the forest. And yes, come on up, absolutely.
I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's here. I know people here that have been working on this since the early 80s. And the perseverance is just stunning. And I think that's my hat's off to all of you that are doing it. And you're in my heart. Thank you for doing it. We have to protect these forests of ours. That's all we have. Thank you.
And folks, I wanted to mention one thing. You know, you hear a lot about the plants and the animals, and you hear about the mushrooms, and you hear about the water, and you hear about the trees themselves. What you don't hear is often amount, which is especially rich in our Hoosier National Forest, is our cultural heritage, is our history. I'm a cultural anthropologist by trade, originally, and I do a lot of history and a lot of archaeology. And there, the Buffalo Trace is intact through the Hoosier National Forest, through the Buffalo Springs Project, where it's not intact in many other areas. One place in the early 1800s recorded over 200 wagons going through what is now the Hoosier National Forest in one day, the pioneers traveling west. And it's got a long prehistory as well. And there are over 300, 500, their cultural resource officer gave the exact figure, but there are a ton of sites. There's cemeteries, there's houses, there's artifacts, there's a lot in the forest, and that the stories that are there are so rich and varied. And I would love to, I give tours if anyone wants to come down for free, and I'll be glad to tell you the history of the area down in Orange County. And it's special, and it's awesome, and it's a national significance. Mackay.
Thank you very much. I'm Mackay St. Rain. I was born and raised in Braun County. I am a property owner here in Lawrence County, and I've also had the privilege of traveling all around the world. I've been to 28 countries and counting, and I can tell you what we have here is so precious, people. We have to save this. We have to. I'm also lucky enough to have 7 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren who I want to see raised in these amazing forests. There's no forest like this all over the world. Very, very, very small. And this is a very small remnant of it. So thank you for all working. Thank you to the Forest Service for working with us. Thank you for Governor Braun for standing up for the forest. And we're going to work together and we're going to save the forest.
Yes!
Preservation is the key. If you look to, we mentioned ecotourism, Barbara did earlier, and the governor mentioned it in the thing, is that you go to French Lick, you see what the Cook Group and others have done there with the wonderful and what it's brought into the economy, the local economy. What it's done, but it's not affected the environment. It's been very minimal impact. Well, the same thing, the same treasures, the same unique aspects for the Hoosier National Forest, whether it's the horse trails, whether it's the lake, whether it's the karst system, whether it's the hunting that's there. Just abundance of resources that are renewable, that can be celebrated by being preserved and also supporting local and regional economies. And so I encourage everyone to think preservation, protection. It's not the largest forest. It's very small in comparison to all of the rest of the national forest across the United States. But for us here, and for many, many, many others, countless others, it is extremely special and unique. And that uniqueness is what needs to be celebrated, what needs to be elevated and kept on for our children, our grandchildren, and multiple generations down the road. Because we are facing in this world unheard of challenges that we haven't faced for millennia. So now is the time that we need to look at our natural resources, look at our cultural resources, because when they're gone, trees will grow back. It's going to take many, many, many years, though. And what's that going to do to the environment there locally and the economy locally in that interim period? Is there anyone who would like to say something? Mr. Owens, Michael.
Has anybody ever been part of a good old-fashioned Indiana uprising before?
Yeah!
Last night, I was up in Hammond, Indiana, in Highland, Indiana, up on Lake Michigan, where they invented the field of ecology because of its amazing natural systems with the dunelands up there. People up there are fighting for their urban forests and their national forests. On Tuesday night in Indianapolis, the city council there gave $1 million so more urban forests could be bought up and purchased and staved off from development. There was a subdivision in the most Republican part of Indianapolis on Southport Road, 60 acres. This was a cornfield 60 years ago, but it was too wet. The forest has rewilded itself in the last 60 years. There's a developer who wants to tear all that out and build houses there, and we need housing, but we also need our forest. But in the most Republican part of Indianapolis, the city councilor there said, no, we are going to save this forest. We're going to call for a full city council vote on this rezoning. So from Indianapolis, from up north to the banks of the Ohio River, this feels like a uprising for our forest and our ecology. And so as we leave today and think about today, let's keep fighting and organizing. I was there on Palm Sunday where they burnt the forest, where they did the prescribed burn. Was anybody else there that day?
Yeah,
We had 15,000 views in one day on Facebook. People were appalled. We were also attacked by trolls. You know, there are people who believe that prescribed burning is the way to go, including probably a lot of people in this office, right? But we have to win that fight. Here in Indiana, in the eastern hardwood forest, we have so much biodiversity and so much unheard of nature that we can protect and preserve forever, that we got to fight for it and build this uprising. Late last year, we did a whole campaign across the state thinking that we were on the verge of expanding the Hoosier National, the Dean Wilderness, and expanding the wilderness area to be the largest wilderness area in the lower Midwest. We were this close, in a terrible political climate, we were this close to getting that done. So who knows when that chance will come around again, but we got to be organized, vigilant, take this uprising to every community in Indiana, throughout the Midwest, throughout the country. So we started something amazing. I was there on Palm Sunday when they burnt those 1,300 acres. It was absurd to sit there and smell that smoke in our forest burning, knowing that, you know, there were creatures being burnt alive, and knowing that our water was being polluted, knowing that you know, the other side, including some environmentalists, believe that's the right thing to do. That was a day where 15,000 people on a Palm Sunday watched the forest burn and said, no, we don't think that's a good idea. So let's build this movement, let's build this fight, and let's keep on organizing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. And, you know, some of the others that have came, and we've had a lot of discussions on Facebook that are open forum completely. At Save Hoosier National Forest, it's an interest group. And there's been less discussions recently, but there have been, you know, all sides of this issue, because the forest is an ecosystem. In other words, it's a complex interaction of a million different elements working together. And so to look at one sole thing by itself, to look at one sole criteria, is just not inclusive, it's not comprehensive, it's not getting the greater picture. And so we really need to look at it as a forest ecosystem. And think of that as we're part of that too. We're part of that ecosystem. So we have to think about it as a whole. And we're not against science in any way. There are scientists here today. There's science can be interpreted in many ways, because it's not a simple issue. Forest management, forest care is not a simple issue. And we have to get all of these great minds together with these contentions and get them together to analyzing the data in different ways together. And look, because it's not clear cut, it's not black and white, it's gray. And everybody we need to get together and just have that conversation. Anyone else that would like to say something today? Excellent.
There's like 6 turtles on the highway coming. I said that it seems to be a turtle migration right now. I saw 6 turtles on my way here, so be especially careful on the roads. Okay.
Yeah, they're waking up from hibernation. So you see them a lot with mud on them, you see them crossing the street. If they are crossing the street, pick it up and move it in the way that it was going. Turn it around and confuse it, it'll turn right back and go right back into the road. That is the danger of the season. Andy Muller.
Stephen, Andy, thank you.
Thank you.
We've got the work we need to do.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Say
hello to everybody.
Coming. Thank you very much.
So here's what I'd like to suggest. I got 2 songs. One is a cappella, or as we say, Acapulco. And then the other one will be musically accompanied, and I'd like to invite David and David to come up and join me for the second song. But everybody has to participate in this first one. And we're going to divide the group from about here, over there. Everybody over here, you're going to be possums. Everybody over here is going to be turtles. I think we need more possums. So everybody from Katie over to the bottom of this, the top of you guys are all possums over here, and you're all turtles. Now the chorus of this song is very simple. It's Save Buffalo Springs, Save Buffalo Springs, Save Buffalo Springs, Save Buffalo Springs. And then somebody, I will start it out, will say, I speak for the blank, Save Buffalo Springs. You'll get the idea here in a minute. So this is a song I wrote while walking in the Hoosier National Forest over many different walks, maybe even over a few different years. But the theme is basically the sparkle of life that you experience when you're in an untrammeled wild place surrounded only by creation and the elements, and in particular the earth, the air, the water, the sun. So it goes like this. Oh, the blinding white light on the crystal clear water. That's me. I go walking in the woods, I look for a spring, and I just sit down by that spring and listen to the song. Oh, the blinding white sun in the brilliant blue sky. Oh, the light of the sun through the sheltering forest. Silhouette filigree, green forest dream. Oh, the green forest dream. Oh, the green forest dream of the free-flowing stream. Oh, the free-flowing stream. Silhouette filigree, free-flowing stream. Oh, the free-flowing stream. Oh, the free-flowing stream. Oh, the green forest dream. Oh, the green forest dream. This is the song that the possums still sing. This is the song that the turtles still sing. The sweet sacred song of the sparkling spring. And I speak for the possums, save Buffalo Springs. I speak for the turtles, save Buffalo Springs. Save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs. And I speak for the water, save Buffalo Springs. Save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs. I speak for the children, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs. I speak for the future, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs. And I speak for the well, come on, let's get something else. What else you got? Mushrooms? Anybody?
Trees.
Trees, buffalo, bugs, bees, bears, bison,
Birds. Deer.
grass, the deer. We speak for our future, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs, save Buffalo Springs. This is a story where the good guys will win. If we all do our part, we'll save Buffalo Springs. If we all stick together, we'll save Buffalo Springs. Something like that. I've never performed that before, so thank you guys for pulling this. We will record this. You guys will get a recording credit. All right. right, now this one actually has instrumentation. We're going to be in the key of G. This is a song that Robert Hoyt wrote. And Mackay, are you here? Yes. Do you have an instrument? No. In that green Subaru in the back, there's a guitar. The green Subaru right across the way, in the way back, there's a guitar. Get it out. We're going to be in G. All right, now here's the chorus on this one. How many of you knew Robert Hoyt? Robert Hoyt? Yeah. Robert Hoyt, an amazing human being who was dedicated to he spent more time exploring the Hoosier National Forest than just about anybody I know. Tragically, he died a little over, gosh, it's been 2 years by now. A year ago February. And, but before he died, he wrote this song for us. And the chorus goes like this. Now you'll hear it many times, so you don't have to learn it immediately, but it's, I roam these hills, these peaceful valleys. I'm going to say it and then you follow me. I roam these hills,
I roam these hills,
these peaceful valleys.
These peaceful valleys.
I've seen the work,
I've seen the work
of a mighty hand,
of a mighty hand,
where the tall trees grow,
where the tall trees grow,
and the waters sing,
and the waters sing.
They sing the song of the buffalo spring. Yeah, you got it. Who wants to hold this? Stephen? Can somebody hold this? I got that strong. No, you got a stronger play. We need to now. Well, I was going to play this here. You can do that. That's all right. Katie's got you.
I got you.
Oh, okay. So without the guitar, the people. I won't be still. These peaceful valleys. I've seen the world of a mighty hand. Where the tall trees grow, and the waters sing. They sing the song of the buffalo spring. This land was healed by those before, until this land it will be used no more. They threw up their hands and they walked away, left the land alone. Nature had her way. I roam these hills, these peaceful valleys. I've seen the work of a mighty hand, where the tall trees grow, and the waters sing, They sing the song of the buffalo spring. Long gone in the chestnut tree, the buffalo were just a memory. On ancient fields, new woods had grown. Now the works of man are just piles of stone. I roam these hills, these peaceful valleys. These peaceful valleys. I've seen the work of a mighty hand. Tall trees grow, and the waters sing. Sing the song. They sing the song of the buffalo springs. Now these men trusted with his land that belongs to all, but because they can. Now, with eyes on mine, the power of the king, plan to destroy the son of which we sing. I want these hills, these peaceful valleys. I've seen the work of a mighty hand, where the tall trees grow, and the waters sing. They sing the song of the buffalo spring. However, there's one more thing that McKay suggested. I think it's a great idea. I would like for everybody to join hands and circle to Tonka here. And we'll circle around so nobody has to stay in the sun. Once we get our hands together, we can do a little circle so everybody can cycle through the shade for a little bit. And it won't take long, but it's a good way to get a closure to an event like this. This is a really special event. We're grateful to the employees of Forest Service for coming out. We're grateful for people from the media and others. Oh, hey, okay. Dave says he got a song. Sorry, wait. One more thing before we circle up. Dave's going to sing us a song.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's what's here I am. Doing what old folkies do. I took an old tune and I kind of tweaked it. Take me back to the place, the home to my heart, to my sweet Hoosier woods. Take me home, where the whippoorwill will sing me to sleep every night. Oh, I was tempted to run. Nonetheless, I did. This forest we love, it was cut once before, and its richness always stayed away. And the bisons and the black bears vanished. And memory is all that remains. But those who remember began once again to plant what we happy days. 100 years on we walk in memory, while they lie asleep in the grave. And now that the trees have again grown tall, and the forest grows richer each day, will it still stand and continue to be? Or be cut down and burned in spring? Will those who come after have to wait 80 years to grow back what we have made? Or will they be able to build on our the forest we dream of today? So let's work together to pass on this gift we received from those who came before. They will come after glorious kiss, while we passed away. Oh, take me back to the place, the home to my heart, to my sweet Hoosier woods. Take me home, where the whippoorwill will sing me to sleep every night.